Hey, happy 1 year anniversary, M's Flavor Stage.
Hello, and welcome back to M's Flavor Stage. Well, I've been on a little bit of a hiatus, but it's been a good hiatus. I was in Puerto Rico, as some of you may have seen, and we had a fantastic time. I got to visit so many places. I got to eat so much delicious food. My dad was like our tour guide, so he was able to take us to many places, and you know, it was nice to see history, especially the food. If you're a foodie like me, of course, you know, you're gonna enjoy the food. There is fritters, a Puerto Rican fritter is called alcapurrias, which I will be making for you guys in the near future. But I had so many alcapurrias when I was out there. My favorite one are the crab alcapurrias, which are also called alcapurrias de Jueyes, is how you would order it if you go to the island. I got to have some yummy pizza made fresh with fresh ingredients in Puerto Rico. There is a famous YouTuber, his name is El Jíbaro Moderno. I was able to go to his restaurant in San Juan, so that was pretty cool. And I got to meet him. What else? Just many things. Oh, your girl got to drive in Puerto Rico too. And let me just tell you, some of the driving isn't the easiest, but nonetheless, if I was able to conquer driving in New York, in New Jersey, in the West Coast, in Nevada, and then driving in Puerto Rico, I could probably drive anywhere, just saying. I want to say hey to all of my latest subscribers. A big hug to all of the subscribers that have been with me from the jump. And it's my 1 year anniversary. Can you believe it? It has been one heck of a year. Honestly, I can't believe that I actually did this. This was my husband's idea. He said, you know, you love to cook, you're an actress, you're a natural on camera. Why don't you start your own YouTube channel? Okay, well, voila, here we are. And I'm gonna stop yapping and we're gonna get right down to business, okay? Today, we are gonna be having, I say we, but you know, we here at home. But for you, I'm gonna be cooking some white rice. I'm going to be having some citrusy Latin style pork chops. They are thick cut, so that's gonna be really delicious. And then I'm gonna make some pinto beans, okay? So, without any further ado, let's get cooking. All right, you guys, so first, we're gonna get started with seasoning our beautiful pork chops. Look at these bad boys. They are nice and thick, okay? So, we're gonna start with a packet of sazon. All right, get that in there. I'm gonna go with 1 tablespoon, actually 2 tablespoons of adobo. I'm gonna go with 1 teaspoon of black pepper, followed by 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of onion powder. I'm gonna go with a tablespoon of oregano. All right. And then I'm gonna take some of this citrus garlic seasoning. I think I got this at like Dollar Tree. But if you go to the supermarket and you find any seasoning that has similar things in it, like this has salt, garlic, onion, cayenne pepper, coriander, cumin, black pepper, paprika, ground turmeric, basil, paprika oil, lemon oil, that sort of stuff. So it's gonna be like a nice citrusy flavor to this. Okay, just kind of move this around a bit. And we're gonna go with let's go with 2 tablespoons of this. I have not used this seasoning in a little while, so I'm excited. It's gonna be a nice tropical type of seasoning to these pork chops. All right, and what you wanna do, you wanna let this marinate, I'd say maybe for 30 minutes to an hour. Like I said, these are nice and thick, so I would like the flavors to like really be absorbed. Yeah. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is I found this diced garlic. I think it was like at, at Walmart. And I only have a little bit left, but I like it's already like diced for me. So I'm just gonna put the remainder of what I had in this packet in here, which looks like it's probably like half a teaspoon. But with the garlic, you guys know you can add more or less, whatever you want to do. Some people don't like too much garlic, but people like me, yeah, I love it. All right, so I'm gonna let this sit in the fridge. I'm gonna let it marinate for about an hour, and I'll be right back. All right, so here on my skillet, I went ahead and added a nice coating of oil. I'm using this canola and avocado oil blend. I found it at Burlington Coat Factory. So, if you didn't know, they tend to have some good snacks. They have nice seasonings, oils, and different things like that, typically at a discounted rate. So if you've never been to the snack section or the food section, definitely check it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and start adding some of my meat to my skillet. I'm gonna lower the heat a little bit to medium high. This is gonna take a little while to cook because the pork chops are pretty thick. All right, so we're gonna let this cook until it's fully done, and we'll be right back. All right, so here I have my pinto beans, and basically what I'm gonna do, I always like to take about half of the can and add it to the blender, kind of soften it up a little bit to make it a little bit saucy, okay? So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna add a pack of sazon to the beans, followed by a teaspoon of oregano. We're gonna go with a teaspoon of black pepper, or you can do half a teaspoon, but I like my beans to be a little bit peppery. Followed by a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of adobo, and a half teaspoon of cumin. Okay? And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and blend this up, and I'll show you how it's gonna look in just one moment. All right, I did forget to add 1 garlic clove, so I'm gonna add that to it, and then I'm gonna blend it. All right, so now I have the beans. I did add about a cup of water to the beans in the pot here. I'm going to take about a half a teaspoon of frozen sofrito. You can find it at any store. And I also have a few pieces of ham that I cut up in chunks and add it to the beans. So I'm gonna let this cook. I'm gonna let it simmer and boil a little bit. Not boil, but you know, simmer and get nice and hot. Everything blended all nicely together. We'll do a taste test and we'll see how it comes out. All right, y'all, so here are our delicious looking pork chops. I will advise always cut in the middle to make sure they're nice and done and not raw, okay? These are nicely cooked. They're still juicy. Nice flavor going on in here. And I'm gonna go ahead and plate everything and I'm gonna try it for you. Be right back. Look at this, you guys. This looks absolutely delicious. We have our nice thick pieces of pork chop here, our rice and beans, a little bit of a parsley garnish. Can't wait to try this. Be right back. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna get ready to try this. Look at this. Okay, y'all, let's see. Rice and beans are delicious. The beans has the perfect amount of seasoning and flavor, not too salty, not too bland. Of course, as you always know, you can add, if you want to add more, you can add more. Seasoning, here's a piece of my pork chop. Let me tell you, it is nice and tender, juicy, perfectly cooked, perfectly seasoned. You can't go wrong with that. So, all right, everyone. So I want to thank you for watching this episode of M's Flavor Stage. And as you already know, if you decide to make my recipe, go ahead and tell me about it in the comments. You know I'd love to read it. Okay, so without any further ado, you guys, that is it for this episode of M's Flavor Stage. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and I'll see you on the next episode of M's Flavor Stage. Ciao!